Dog size. CFF presents 1% Better, a podcast about
CrossFit, nutrition, coaching, mindset, and community.
Join us as we embark in casual conversation to shed light on what life is like within these black and yellow walls. With episodes coming at you every Monday, you can follow along with Coach Whitney and Taryn as we talk shop about all things CFF. Episode 46.
I almost said 45.
How to think about that one. All right, today's topic is something that I guess I could say is about freaking every episode, something I'm super passionate about and love to talk about, love to get behind. We're going to talk about sort of the positivity, power of it, power of positivity. Talk about Bright Spot Fridays. We're going to talk about Momentum Mondays, some of the stuff that we run in our private Facebook group and why behind that, and how that carries over into your real life and life outside of these gym walls. I love this topic. I love human behavior stuff. Like I think that was like my favorite part about university was just like learning the human behavior type of psychology stuff behind everything that I was doing. It's very interesting.
How did Momentum Mondays and Bright Spot Fridays come to be? Because that's not something we've always done.
No.
That's new in the last
year,
maybe less than a year.
That's a great question.
Thanks.
I think right away the most obvious piece of that was it was COVID driven, and we were trying to implement different strategies to help our members stay focused on the positive. Obviously, when COVID strikes and you're surrounded by so much negativity, or you maybe mentally turn a lot more negative about your social situation and just in general the situation that was developing. So Bright Spot Fridays was the first thing that came about and was really driven by just keeping everybody focused on what really mattered and the things that they could control. There's a lot of, I guess, like more on the lines of like, what is Bright Spot Friday?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like every Friday going through the practice of sorting through your week to find the positives, whether they're big or small, it really doesn't matter, and actively listing them. And I love it. Like, honestly, I probably love reading them more than I like sharing mine. Excuse me. Sharing them is absolutely necessary, but I love reading everyone else's and just going through the whole process of celebrating the crap out of everyone else.
And Momentum Mondays?
Momentum Mondays was kind of just more on our trend of helping our clients more. Here's a perfect opportunity to look ahead on what's going to set you up across the week. And not only just voicing those things, but now developing strategic plans around them so that you're being actionable about the things that you're setting out for yourself to do. For example, like, I know I need to eat more vegetables this week. Okay, well, it's one thing to say, I need to do this. And now I'm provoking you to break it down and list those steps on like what you're going to do, hold yourself accountable to it. And I'll check in with you later in the week to make sure that we have accomplished that. And if you haven't, I'm going to help you, Again, it just maybe, and we talked about this on a few episodes ago of like our support system and our deeper why, you have these coaches who are so involved in your everyday life, like the stuff outside of the gym. Yeah, a lot of our members will share like, I'm going to come to the gym 3 times a week or whatever it might be. But, there's the ones that say, I'm going to sit down and read 10 pages of my book, or I'm going to make sure I get out for walks every night. Even the like extra things that happen in their everyday lives, and we're involved in that. We want to help you be successful with that.
Well, and I think it's going back to your support system, putting those things out there to the members in the gym who then comment as well and help hold you accountable and all of that stuff. So it's further reaching than just the coaches seeing those and helping you, but also the members now, like checking in midweek. Hey, I saw your Momentum Monday. Did you eat more vegetables? Like, how is that going? Or I'm struggling with my water too. How is that going for you? Like that, those are some good touch points.
And sharing ideas between them too. There's been multiple times, like I think the other day it came up about turning a phone lock on, and next thing we were doing was sharing links on how to do that. Mm-hmm. And enabling this person to succeed with this one particular goal that they had set for themselves.
Well, and I also think it brings like it's okay to be struggling and to have to start over again or try again, and making that like a normal thing. Like, I'm still struggling to get 3 liters of water in, but here I am trying again, showing up. This is my plan this week. And people can relate to that. So it makes people and ourselves as coaches much more relatable too.
And that's kind of like partly where I wanted to take this conversation maybe later on, but you already brought it up, is the reason that Bright Spot Fridays and Momentum Mondays are so successful is because it requires you to keep stacking brick by brick by brick, right? You might have started out with a really low water intake, and now you're getting significantly 1 liter in every single day. Like, that's a brick, you know? And when that brick stays solid, then we add another brick to that. And you just continuously build on these small successes. Next thing you know, you're drinking 4 liters of water and you don't think twice about it because you've now put brick on top of brick. Like, just keep stacking those wins.
Well, and I think Momentum Monday too also brings about some reflection in terms of the past week or the past month. Like, where were those sticking points, or what were you struggling with, as opposed to just blindly going through your day, going through your week, going through your month without finding those weaknesses and areas that require focus. And then again, setting up yourself for success to achieve those with those actionable steps. I think that's super important.
And that's the key part.
Yeah. Again. And I look at that, like, we do that with our nutrition clients, like weekly, we check in. Hey, what were your bright spots? What are some things we're struggling with? Like, what can we do to make it a more successful week or achieve this goal that we've got? But it's nice to do it in that broader sense and more general outside of nutrition, because maybe it is a get to the gym 3 times, maybe it is go for a walk or do less of this and more of that kind of thing.
And all of those actionable steps that you are working through on the daily set you up to achieve them come Friday. And then we look back on the week and we celebrate that. Like, even if you may not have achieved it, you still came closer to it than you were on Monday before you set out to start on it, you know? And the fact that you have now set a goal or a couple of mini goals, you've built actionable steps into those goals. And now we're looking back and achieving them. Monday rolls around and now we're setting new goals. You're working through this process of continuously, you know, setting standards and working at them. And we've done many episodes on goal setting and things like that. Like, this is a simple way to start.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, for those people who say, I don't know how to set goals or I don't set goals, like, yeah, Momentum Monday is the place to be.
And even if posting it in our private Facebook group on that post is something that you don't want to do, there's many different ways to hold yourself accountable. Like, whether you share it with somebody in your support system, or you share it with a coach, or you literally just write it down in your notebook on the start of Monday while you're sitting at your kitchen table drinking coffee. You know, I do all of those things and I have for many, many years. And, you know, arguably that's why goal setting is a strength of mine. You just keep practicing it. It doesn't matter that you success or fail at the end of the week. You got a little bit closer. You stack that brick on top of each other. Like, even just the fact of setting those terms for yourself is a win, I would say.
And before we started recording this, we were talking about, like, the bigger impact of something like Bright Spot Friday in terms of how we approach life, how we deal with struggles. Can you expand upon that more?
So just dealing with the tough stuff, right? The practice of going through Bright Spot Friday each week is literally taking 5 minutes out of your day to filter through all the shit that has happened earlier in the week. It's so easy to get caught up on, oh, I didn't do this, or this happened to me, or this was really stressful at my job, or my spouse is not supporting me, or, you know, whatever, etc., feels so insurmountable and you just can't get past it. You've now taken 5 minutes out of your day to ignore all the negativity and focus only on the wins, big or small, gym related or not, doesn't matter. But the fact that you're doing that, and I've said this in our private group, I've kind of explained the science behind it, is you're training your amygdala, which is just a piece of your brain, to do just that, to filter through the negativity that you're experiencing. But it then gives you that experience on which you build stress, like adaptations. So the next time something presents itself in a stressful form, you've now got a little bit more bulletproof towards it, that you can handle maybe this situation a little bit differently the next time it arises. So you might think it's silly that you're bragging about whatever it is that you choose for your Bright Spot Fridays, or maybe you don't want to post at all because you consider it bragging, but that's really not at all what it is. It's the whole like training your brain to go through this process is signifying what you're going to do the next time something stressful comes up. You're building adaptation, physiological adaptation. Like, it's science, it doesn't lie. And I love it from like the perspective of you going through it yourself, but then also filtering through the comments and the things that other people have written. You're now reading nothing but positive remarks, and then you reinforce that by giving a positive comment back to them, or even just hitting like or whatever. Like, you're acknowledging this positive remark with more positivity. So you've now done this 3 times, in case you haven't noticed. You've filtered your own, you typed it and acknowledged it, you're acknowledging someone else's, and then, or you're reading someone else's and then acknowledging. So actually 4 times, all in a matter of like 5 minutes of reading a Facebook post.
I find it interesting, or not even interesting, but when people say to me like, well, I don't have any bright spots, or like, I can't find anything. And like, you can encourage them to find them, but oftentimes I default to go comment on everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, like, fine, don't go searching for your bright spots this week, like whatever, but take the time to comment on somebody else's and like cheer them on and celebrate them. And then maybe that will change your mind and your outlook in terms of finding your own bright spots.
Well, you're completing half the cycle.
Yeah.
So if anything, if you're not going to take on the whole cycle, take half the cycle, right? Yeah. Whichever half you choose to do, that's a start. That's a brick, right? Keep stacking those bricks even in that sense.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because there's that theory of like attracts like. So if you're surrounding yourself with the positives, thinking about the positives, promoting the positives, then that is going to bring about positives, and that's what you're going to see in your life, versus it's always negative and you're talking about negative and you're commenting negative things, even to yourself, let alone people that are around you, then that is all you're going to see, right? It's that perspective shift. When you do more positive, you see more positive, and vice versa.
And I think one of the most obvious outcomes of that philosophy is right in the culture of the gym. Mm-hmm. When we started this, it was mid-COVID, and we were dealing with a lot of people on Zoom and our social hours on Zoom. And you could notice that our approach and the way the clients were responding to that was very much different from maybe some other businesses' approaches or things like that, mm-hmm. right? Like, it was something that we could control. And I jumped on that right away. And then as it evolved and it got stronger and more people bought in and jumped on board and started practicing, and we came back in person, the culture in the gym changed. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you could just tell, like, people are happier. In accordance with that, they're healthier. They're getting more out of the whole encompassing package, not just the hour that they're here, because they are happy, the people around them are happy. Like, it's just nothing but positivity. And the one time when negativity does present itself, it's pushed aside and we're right back on the positivity cycle. Like, it sounds fluffy, but like, it's so impactful.
And it's funny because in class I've heard, like, just in passing, like somebody complaining about something, and another member will be like, that doesn't sound like a bright spot to me. Or like, they'll comment about that person's reaction and their negativity about it. And it's almost like, yeah, you're right. Like, I need to check myself. Like, that is not the person I want to be sounding like, or the approach I want for this workout, or anything like that. So it's interesting to see that translate over into real life and not just in a post on Facebook. Like, it's very, very cool.
For sure. And a lot of the members have like taken it upon themselves to be doing this at home, mm-hmm. with their kids. Yeah. We spoke about that before. So now it's extending even further past themselves. Yeah. And I think that's important. Yeah.
For sure. Just to circle back to you saying people feeling like they're bragging about something, I had a member come to me or say, like, they posted in Bright Spot Friday about something awesome they did at the gym because they don't have anybody else in their life who would understand what they accomplished. And it's like, yeah, like these people know that. So like, it's not bragging to us. Like we get it. We get that that's a big deal, and you have nowhere else to, like, your spouse doesn't understand, or like the people you work with don't understand. So like, yes, this is the place to celebrate and share that, and don't feel like it's bragging, because we get it. We know how big of a deal that is. Like that is something to celebrate. I thought that was cool.
I also think it's unfortunate that they don't have people outside of them that would celebrate with them in the type of way they're looking for. But with that being said, this is the right place. We make you feel safe and comfortable. These are the things we want to root behind you for, right? Like I am right there beside you cheering for whatever that bright spot was on that particular day. Like I'll be your biggest fan because I understand how exciting that is.
Yeah.
I'm probably more excited about it than you are. It's your bright spot.
9 times out of 10, yeah, for sure. What else, like how else does Momentum Monday and like that goal setting and creating actionable steps and Bright Spot Friday, like finding the positives, how else does that translate into the real world?
Well, it just
What
comes,
do you think?
It just comes back to, I would say, the bigger picture. You know, maybe you're applied to like your work scenario. Maybe you're not having a fun time at work right now. Maybe your job is really stressful. Again, just like stop thinking about the big picture of what's happening. Break it down on Monday. Be like, what can I accomplish today that is going to help me feel successful? Like we're just trying to build some momentum, right? Stack a brick on Monday, put another brick on top on Tuesday. And then on Friday, being able to look back and be like, okay, maybe this isn't as bad as I'm making it out to be. You know, we're human beings, we're emotional, we react. And this just kind of keeps us more objective and focused, and takes one bite out of the elephant instead of 10. And then we just look back and be happy about that. Celebrate those things. And that situation can be applied to anything. It really doesn't matter what you're looking at, relationships, et cetera, et cetera. So
I found too, and I think I've talked about this before, but I've used the, like, how can I create a bright spot for someone else?
Yes.
When I am feeling like zero bright spots in my life. Like if I'm having a crappy day, it's like, okay, can I go create a bright spot for somebody else? Can I pay for the coffee for the person behind me? Can I, like, what can I do? Can I reach out and say something awesome to somebody, or like just generating that? And that in turn makes me feel better. But now I've also impacted somebody else's life and hopefully have led them on a path to having more bright spots in their day, or creating others for somebody else. I think that's huge.
That's nice. That's good of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I like.
That's a trend we should all jump on board
I like
with.
to try to be a good human. Yeah, but I think it's like, if you approach it that way, like how can I create a bright spot for somebody? I think that's a really cool thing. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should post that as a challenge. Generate a bright spot.
I like doing it with my programming, to be honest. You know, especially with my PT clients, because I have a little bit more control over that than I do in a class scenario. But I can purposely set this person up to have immense success today. And, you know, maybe I'm tired and my day is dragging on and I just need that little bout of excitement from this particular person that I'm going to be working with. I do that. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I'm the one hooting and hollering in the back.
Jumping around.
Pulling a Mia Hamm.
And actually, now that I think about it, when we
Please somebody laugh at that joke.
Pulling a Mia Hamm. We have a few soccer fans. I think they'd get it. Now that I think back to it, when we were in COVID, I had the teens class go do something for someone else. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like people baking brownies and delivering them, sending cards to teachers, like just a bunch of, or stuff for their neighbors, like paying it forward. Yeah, I remember doing that.
And that's just the global outreach of it, that, you know, you're not only just working on yourself, you're now working on someone else.
Well, and I think that's what also sets us aside from just being a gym. Like we're not just a gym. Like we are doing bigger things for people in their lives, and for our community within our walls, but also for our community outside.
The larger community.
Yeah.
Which is a large part of our vision, right? Like
for sure.
That is the impact that we want to have on everyone and everything surrounding us. So, you know, what you see come up as a average everyday Friday, Bright Spot Friday post, like here are just some, and I'm not covering all of them in this podcast, but here are just some of the reach that simple action of yours has, you know? So, you know, I know there's people that don't read it. There's people that don't post. And I mean, that's fine. You're an adult. That's a decision you can make. And maybe you don't want to be a part of it. All the power to you. I hope you have great stress management strategies already built into yourself. But for those of us that need it, and those of us that grow and, develop as a better human being that way, this is some of the things that it also impacts outside of just yourself. I'm a geek though. I love the science behind it. I'm not going to lie. So.
Well, and I also think it's interesting too, when like the one-offs do post.
I get super excited when I see somebody show up that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
I get pumped up.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are always some of my favorites as well.
And I absolutely love reading the Momentum Mondays too, because I want to know what people are doing. I want to know what's important to them. Like that's ultimately what you're writing is like, here's the things that I deem important to me this week. And here's how I'm going to, hold myself accountable to do it. And I love that. Like my favorite one so far has been the person posting about reading, and it started a book club. Like,
yes, that's right.
Like that is cool.
Yeah.
You come to the gym and you come home with a book club.
Well, it was funny because I think I saw it on one of their like Instagram posts, and they were like #CFF book club. And I replied, I was like, we have a book club? Like I missed the mark on that one. She's like, yeah, we just started swapping books between us. I was like, that is cool. Like that is very cool. And then it got the wheels turning. I was like, should we actually have a book club, like a legit
like a book exchange?
Everybody read the same book and let's talk about it. Hey, that could be a cool podcast monthly thing. Interesting. I had something to say. Now I forget. Oh, I know what it was. I think Momentum Monday for us in terms of coaches also gives us that chance to utilize like our help first approach. Like now this exposes what people are needing help with. And even this week I reached out to somebody. I was like, hey, I saw your Momentum Monday post. Like, let me know what I can do to help you get back on track with your nutrition. And we kind of loosely talked like, hey, this is my plan for now. And then I plan to reach out. And so we can really dial things in. It's like, okay, cool. Now I know where you're going. I'll be sure to check back in so that I can continue to help you as you need it. And now they know that communication has been set up so that they can reach out to me whenever they need that. I think that's a cool way to see what our members are needing help with and where they need that support.
Totally.
Yeah, I like that.
We're big on that help first thing. And this is just one of those things that reinforce that. I love it. Momentum Mondays, Bright Spot Fridays. Like it's pretty much a staple and a routine and the way that we do things and how we run each week.
Yeah.
Give me a bright spot. Put you on the spot.
Oh my gosh. Do you have one so I can think?
We're 46 episodes in of something that we started just for fun. No, but I mean, that's huge. Like we're celebrating a milestone and that's 46 we're almost at 50.
I was secretly waiting for you to ask me at the beginning. Did you ever think we were going to get this far? Bright spot.
I could literally list like 25. It's just, they don't have to be big or small, right? And that's what we always say.
Like culling through the things and now I feel awful because I don't have one just rolling off the top of my head. One of our members who had been with me for PT for a bit, just transitioning back to the gym, has joined group classes. So that's fun. That is a bright spot for me.
Me too. I enjoyed it. I worked out in the class with that particular person.
Hey, we had 15 people in group class
today. That is huge.
That was organized chaos.
See, and it's just stuff like this. Like we have a full class. We have no restrictions on class sizes and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As where, a year ago, it was, we're locked down, not running classes on Zoom. Like there's so many, your perception on that or perspective could change in an instant. And we've talked about this before, that when COVID first, like when the lockdown first started, I gave myself that night, and the very next day, like you and I turned around.
We were hustling.
Yeah. And we had this plan. And from that point on, it was, we are 100% committed to these clients to help them stay positive. Now, I love that this is one of the things that came from COVID. There are many things that came from COVID that, the gym kind of embraced, this being one of them. And I'm pumped.
Well, and I don't think we can sit here and say that it was all bright spot and shiny and all that stuff. But at the same time, I think the more we implement, and like you're saying, the more we implement the bright spots, it is easier to dig yourself out of that hole when you have those strategies there. Like, yeah, it's fine to sit in that hole for a minute or two, but like you at least know that you can start to look for the positives and start to focus somewhere else, or start to create positives for somebody else to get you back on track.
You can handle the tough stuff.
Yep.
Handling the tough stuff. There's our
top. The title?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put out the challenge of reach out and let us know what bright spot you created for somebody else. I like that one.
I can't wait to hear
Have you created a bright spot for somebody else recently? See, now I'm putting you on the spot.
I opened the door for an old man at a store.
That's nice of you.
I thought that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just being, what's the word?
Polite.
Yeah.
A good human being. I feel like that's just the norm, the standard.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Bright Spot Fridays, Momentum Mondays. I love this stuff. If you want to geek out over this with me, I'm happy to have a conversation with you anytime. As always, follow our socials. You know where to find us. Episode 46, focusing on the positives.